Hello, this is Territorial Tom. We're out at our farm today and I wanted to show you how we go about doing some early plantings. So over the years we've discovered through mostly trial and error work how best to farm early in the season. So I wanted to show you today how we go about doing that. And so as you can see, we've got strips of, this is lettuce seed crops throughout this 5-acre field. We got different varieties throughout the field, and you can see that they're separated quite a distance between the rows. And the reason we do that is we're going to be doing a rotation cover crop and row crops within the same field. So going back a bit in time, 2 winters ago, what we did was we planted this field to oats, vetch, and peas, and we planted it as a cover crop. It grew up last spring and summer, and we harvested a lot of that for green matter that we would work into our compost pile, which we've already talked about that if you've seen that. That came off of this field. Then we harvested off the top. It grows back nice and lush throughout the summer. So it sat here and grew all summer long, and then about in September, October, we disked the entire field in, much like the neighboring field, and we disked it all in. And then what we did is we came in and we pulled beds. We've got a raised bed tiller, if you will, and we tilled these strips down through here. And then we came through with our compost that we make here on the farm, and we have a manure spreader that we use, and we spread on the compost on top of the beds. We applied compost tea on the top, inoculated it with beneficial organisms into the soil, so there's a good population there. Then what we did was we covered the beds in plastic, and we got a plastic layer, just covered it in its entirety, and then we planted clover in between these rows. So what the idea is, and which happened, because as you see, the clover came up nice and the beds were covered. And then what we did in the last of March, 1st April, pulled all the plastic off of these beds, and then we were able to transplant our lettuce right in there. It was nice and dry. It was just beautiful soil because it sat there, and I think it has somewhat of a solarizing effect for weeds, because you can see these beds have not even been weeded yet, and this is pretty darn nice to get this far along and not to even have touched it yet. The other advantage we have by planting the clover, we can get into this field very early on, March, April, when it's still wet out, but these beds aren't wet because they've been covered in plastic, and we just come in and there's not going to be any mud at all because the clover's nice and established, as you can see. And now during this season, we're not going to be having to come in and weed in between these rows at all, between the raised beds, because we're just going to have to come in and mow it from time to time. And when you mow it, you're actually putting more green matter, laying it right back into on top of the soil, and that helps to keep the weeds down. It also helps to grow the organic matter in your soil. So you can see we've mowed this now once, and we'll use our BCS, which is a wonderful tool for us because you can put a tiller on it, or in this case we have a sickle bar on it right now, and the sickle bar is like 4 feet wide, so in just 2 passes you can get real close to the lettuce on this side, mow in between and over here, so you're only doing 2 passes down the entire field. It only takes 10 minutes to go down this clear to the end of the field. If you see down there, it looks quite a ways down there. So now what'll happen is this will grow up through the summer, and we're going to start harvesting lettuce July, August time frame. Plenty of time to harvest our lettuce seed crops. They come off the field, and now we're ready to work in between these rows. And now on this side, if I was standing here next year, this would be, I'd be standing in the bed, and here would be the green manure cover crop we're going to have. So it's one field, but we're rotationally planting in the same field, and It goes a long way to continually build your soil in the field, and it saves us labor. You can see that it's going to be much easier to be able to take care of this. And if you look across the field, each one of these beds are the same way. They haven't been touched yet with weeding in the beds. I'm sure it'll come. It always does, but we're only going to have to probably go through it maybe once or twice. But these lettuce plants will get so big soon that it'll shade other things out. So till next time, Territorial Tom.